On. Hey everybody, Crypto Mentor 99. And with me tonight, I've got the king of crypto, the DigiByte legend, the hardest worker in the room. Yes, Mike Aldy. Mike, thanks for coming on tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Mike and I were talking in the pre interview, and Mike is situated in the DigiByte community, I think, strategically. So, Mike, why don't we start off? Tell everybody what, like, your place within DigiByte and the DigiByte awareness team.
Sure. Well, as you know, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers know, the DigiByte community, it's completely an open source project. So we're all volunteers for what we do, and we all just kind of find our own little niche based on our, our own talents or skills or things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're not even that talented or skilled at, but maybe we want to use this as a chance to improve those skills or grow new skills. I've been, I guess. Uh, 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 First to blockchain. I had been in cryptocurrency since I guess about late spring, early summer of 2017. Is when I first, kind of really, you know, dove into it. I'd heard of Bitcoin for a number of years and just kind of blew it off because I couldn't really wrap my head around it. And I guess it was about the time when the price of Bitcoin surpassed the price of gold and then just kept going. And so it really caught my attention at that point, and so I thought, well, maybe I should look into this a little deeper. So, like I said, I was looking for a way to get involved with blockchain, and 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 like I said, I'd hodled DigiByte for a while, and for my first year in crypto, I was really just, again, it was really about kind of just trying to make some money off of it. So I was like researching ICOs
Mm-hmm.
and researching other coins. But there was one constant theme that I heard throughout my journey, which was, stick with projects that have, working products that have use cases that are, out there solving problems.
That's
Just
good.
I kept coming back to DigiByte because I was like, well, this is a solid blockchain. This is a solid coin. There's nothing wrong with this coin, even though the price action hasn't really reflected that, at least during my experience with it. And but I was like, but the marketing is terrible. There's no marketing. It's open source marketing. I work in marketing, and so it made so much sense when it finally dawned on me that I was mad at myself that it took me so long to figure out, like, well, this is how it's done. This is how you learn. This is how you become a part of the blockchain space. You just go out and do it,
Yeah.
And and because it's, like I said, it's completely open source, especially a project like DigiByte. There's a few others out there, but yeah, I mean, it's just a great way for someone to come, like myself. I consider myself an outsider because I'm not a computer guy, at least not at that level. I mean, I work a lot
Sure.
with computers,
Yeah.
but it's like at the application level, and it's more like media focused, not the code necessarily and programming languages. Um, so I was coming in like, well, what can I do? How do you become involved with something like this? And so I just said, well, let me just go with what I know, which is
Yeah.
television, and so I wanted to see if there's a way to apply what I do in television, which is promo, and bring that to blockchain, and that's kind of how my life with DigiByte started in that regard. And it was about the same time that the DigiByte awareness team, they formed, and I reached out to them and just told them, well, hey, this is who I am. This is what I can do. This is things I want to do and think I can do for the blockchain. And they were like, yeah, right on. And so my first major video that I did was the Venezuela video that we called Humanity Rises.
Right.
And yeah, it's just things have just taken off since then, and it's been a great ride so far.
So your sound and your picture is perfect. At the beginning, when you were talking a little bit about the month and the year that you got into crypto, it was a little sketchy. Was that the spring of 2017, Mike?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, about late spring, early summer of last year is when I first started, really researching, cryptos and trying to learn more about how it all works.
So, do you
So,
remember like the first time that maybe you even heard the word cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, and you were like, "Huh, what the heck is that?"
yeah, well, I'd heard about it many years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, actually, and I want to say it's probably as far back as 2011, 2012, perhaps.
Whoa.
And but again, I was a big, silver and gold guy, and to me that was something that like, well, this I can hold and it's real to me. And this other thing, well, I don't understand it, and it doesn't really make much sense. And so I just largely stayed. Um, and then, but as time went on, and I finally like took the time to educate myself on what it is, and why it exists. That there was a lot of parallels between why I was a gold and silver stacker, and the cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of parallels with, because they're both sound money as
Hmm.
opposed to our current system, which is just pure fiat, and it's a broken system. So that aspect appealed to me a lot, and then also the technology aspect of it. And I kind of touched on this a little bit in my presentation at USC about how when the internet first came along, I was just, I'd been out of high school for a few years and still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And, and, and I embellished a little bit, of course. I wasn't that resistant to computers. I did use the internet back then,
Sure.
but I didn't, the point was I didn't seize upon the opportunity. This is like a brand new thing that completely revolutionized the way that we communicate with each other.
You bet.
And that, there's endless opportunities in something like that. And that was another thing about blockchain. Again, when I first got into it, it's about, well, hey, I want to make some money off of this. But then once I learned the underlying technology behind it and how revolutionary it is and how it can just improve so many things in our day-to-day lives, I thought to myself, okay, well, I really need to get involved with this at somehow on some level, just so I don't miss the boat again the way I did, 20 whatever years ago, when the internet first came along.
Right. Well, that's the way I feel and I felt about cryptocurrencies when I first heard about it. I'm going to say the spring of 2016. And normally my personality type, Mike, is that I research something to death before I invest in it. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was something inside me that said, you know what? This is kind of the future. I still don't understand 100% of it all. And someone made the analogy. I saw a YouTube video about a month ago, and someone made the analogy that we all use emails every day, right? Like you log onto your computer and you send an email, as do I, and billions of people onto the planet. But I don't quite know all the nuts and bolts of how my email gets sent to your office, okay? But I still
Right.
use it, right?
Sure.
And again, the old adage, you don't want to, put something in cryptos that, like, that you can't afford to lose. But once I started, the old, everybody says once you go down the rabbit hole, it's just like I haven't came up in 2 years or something. And it's just
Yeah.
like every day it's something else, but I'm just like, again, kind of like you, not so much, and I didn't hear you say this, but not the fear of missing out, but I'm like, I may not understand this, but I got to start learning about this and investing because if I wait till I'm 60, if I wait till I'm 70, who knows what the world's going to look like in 10 years, you know?
Right.
So, interesting. Tell everybody how you got either invited or involved with the last meetup at USC. And for those of you that don't know, those are three initials for University of Southern California. So, Mike, how did you get all in that?
Yeah. So, it's been really interesting how things have evolved and played out. like I said, it's going back to my first involvement with the DigiByte community. Making that first video. That was what's known. That's my wheelhouse. That's where being in an edit bay is what I do, and there's a lot of comfort and safety in that. And even before I released that video, this was when I saw your video where you were answering viewer mail, and you just interviewed Rudy and Derek from the DigiByte awareness team.
Yeah.
And they did a great interview, and uh, and they had mentioned that the wallets were coming out. I think they were in beta at that point.
Yeah.
The saw these guys. Can they do like a tutorial on the wallet? And so I saw it, and I posted it in his Telegram, and I'm going back and forth with Derek, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Let me run some tests. Let me see if I can do this. And I know I'm kind of going off track with your original question, but I promise I'll get to it in just a second.
No, you're fine.
The point is that that video, I kind of had to step outside of my comfort zone to do it. Before it was like I'm just editing, right? I'm pulling clips from YouTube and just putting a big piece, puzzle pieces together with music and some sound effects, and that's great. Well, now I got to write a script and as well, not only about blockchain, I increase my knowledge about that, but also I increase my knowledge about the stuff that I'm already kind of into, the production side of things, and beside, where I work, it's all post-production. I don't do a lot of pre-production or actual production, so or at least that's things I haven't done in a really long time. So it was great to get back into that and get experience around that. And then right after that video was released, I was in the Telegram chat for DigiByte. I don't know if it was the official chat or maybe the marketing chat. And a gentleman came on. He's like, "Hey, is anyone here from Southern California?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I am." He's like, "Can I send you a message?" I'm like, "Well, sure." And it was Robert, who
right,
the guy that put the meetup in Anaheim together. Who, yeah, you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, would you be interested in doing pre?" Okay, it's again, the opportunity presents itself. So, I wanted to jump on that, and so that's how that happened. So, but the point I wanted to make is that every time I've done something for DigiByte, it's led to even more and more opportunities that have helped just myself and learning new things about the blockchain itself, the blockchain space, and also just within my own industry. And plus, I'm just learning new skills that are important, because, yeah, I've got a great job and a great career, but, there's no guarantees in life, and you never know what's going to happen. Fox itself is going through a lot of upheaval because of the whole Disney thing.
Sure.
They say that we're safe, which it's going to be business as usual, but you never know. I mean, someone could come in and say, "Hey, thank you for all your time, but we found someone half your age. We're going to pay them half as much, and good luck to you." So no matter what you do, I mean, you always got to stay sharp. You got to stay relevant and be nimble, because you want to make sure that you've got the goods that appeal to potential employers. So I mean, that's that's a lot of my personal motivation for what I do. A lot of people that ask me, like, well, they saw my video, like, "Hey, that was awesome. How much did they pay you for it?" And I'm like, well, nothing. In fact, I had to pay some of my own money to get it done. But for me, the value comes from the experience.
Yeah.
I'm able to do things that I would never normally really do. I mean, yeah, you can always go out and do something on your own, but something with DigiByte, it's a thing, right? That does exist, and you can do all kinds of things around that. And I just find it amazing that, because I've literally had nothing to do with this blockchain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't, I've contributed no code to it. I don't even, I wouldn't even know what the code was if I was looking at it. But it provides a platform for someone like myself to jump on it and ride the coattails and ride the waves and see where it goes. So it's been a great experience for me so far.
No, that's awesome. So let me ask you another question that the question just has two words in it. Okay. So
Okay.
why DigiByte?
Well, that is a good question, because there's certainly a lot of blockchains and coins and tokens out there to choose from. Again, I think just first of all, just the tech behind it is solid. It is a strong blockchain that, I mean, it has so many valuable aspects to it. It's fast. They've built in the scaling. It's got the 5
Yeah.
algorithm mining. Um, the DigiShield, multi-shield. So technically, it's
Hmm.
got a lot going for it. And I guess too, I felt like there was more opportunities there, as
Yeah.
opposed to, I mean, it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to go marketing for Bitcoin because everybody loves Bitcoin. I mean, as long as you're like already in the space, right? And then of course, Litecoin is, probably, I would say it's probably
Right.
second, or at least, in the top 5 in terms of notoriety,
Sure.
and people are already involved with that. But DigiByte, there was still, I guess, open space
Yeah.
in terms of myself to enter and to do things. Whereas if I just jumped into the Litecoin crowd, well, maybe you're just,
Right.
again, it's open source too, so do whatever I want. But I don't know. I feel like, for one, the blockchain deserves to have people promote it, because it is a solid blockchain, and it can do a lot of amazing things. And I just think like the opportunities were there, and it stood out to me. I remember, finally got around to heeding everyone's advice, and started, moving my coins off of exchanges. And I guess this was before, because I had an Exodus wallet on my desktop, and I know they support DigiByte now, but maybe they didn't at the time. Anyway, so I had a bunch of coins, and it was about half a dozen that I wanted to get off the exchanges and just put them on wallets on my computer at home. And I remember I tried to download one, and it triggered my antivirus. I'm like, well, what's that all about? And of course, online they're like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, I don't know. And then like there was another one that I was able to download, but couldn't.
Mike, can you hear me? I may have lost Mike. I think I lost Mike. Oh, there we are.
I could. It just, in fact, it made so much sense that I was mad at myself that didn't think of it sooner. It's
Yeah.
just like, it was just a
Yeah.
perfect opportunity to jump on.
Yeah. So we're going on about 20 minutes. Is there anything, and when I do these interviews, I always have the person that I'm interviewing kind of have the last word, Mike. So is there anything that maybe a question that maybe I didn't ask you, or something that you've got rattling around in that big brain of yours that you're just like, oh man, I just want people to know about this, about DigiByte, or about myself, or how to get involved, or whatever?
Uh, sure, yeah. A couple of things, actually. Thanks for giving me that chance. I want to talk a little bit more about Anthem ID and the things that they are doing. As you may know, they're the ones that they incorporated DigiID. They're an online privacy firm based out of Belgium,
Right.
and the presentations I've done, I've actually, and I think I find it a very effective way to demonstrate the blockchain being used. It's just like, well, here it is. Here's my wallet. I'm scanning the QR code,
Yeah.
and I've logged into my account. Being able to do this. What's so huge about what they're doing is that they're providing the SLA, their service level agreements, for companies that want to incorporate DigiID into their systems, because that's one of the challenges that open source blockchains like DigiByte is that they often run into, is because there's no company, there's no president, there's no director of technology that when a counterpart over at, say, like Amazon's like, okay, hey, yeah, this is great, let's do it. Who do I talk to sign the paperwork? Well, there's no one to sign the paperwork with DigiByte, but there is someone to sign the paperwork with. So I think it's great what Anthem ID is doing.
Yeah, that's great.
Understand that they're taking it to the next level. And one other point I just want to touch on, and just kind of expand what I was talking about before, is going back to the opportunities that are available for doing work for a blockchain like DigiByte. You're only limited by your own imagination. I know that sounds really cliche, but I'm sitting here, I'm just writing my own ticket, so to speak, and I don't see that like, hey, notice me, look at all the great things I'm doing. The point is, look at what someone like me can do. Right? Again, I'm nobody. I have no real computer knowledge, under the hood when it comes to this sort of stuff. Yet here I am being interviewed by Crypto Mentor 99. This is and it was just fantastic. So I feel that in the years ahead, DigiByte will become renowned as a blockchain academy.
Yeah, no, that's
it's a place where people can just join the community and they can contribute in whatever way they can, however they can, and they can learn about blockchain, and they can put that on their resume. They can put things on their reel inside their portfolio and say, this is what I've done, this is what I can do, and that that looks great on the resume. That looks great to potential employers because it shows initiative.
Yeah.
And it provides a tangible thing that they can see or look at and say, oh, okay, well that's something significant. So it's the DigiByte blockchain, on top of being a solid blockchain, it's a great opportunity, and it's a great community. You were talking about some of the people earlier, and that are on the awareness team, like Laura, and it's so great to have these people, because you can just listen to them talk, and you feel their sincerity, you feel that like they're just really down to earth, honest people, and it's great to be a part of that.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Aldy, King of Crypto, DigiByte legend. Really, I appreciate your time, and we will definitely do this again.